friends, and welcome to the famed Bristol Motor Speedway. And you may notice it looks a little different than you're used to. Well, of course, if you've been watching the real-life NASCAR series this last weekend, you know exactly what's going on out there. They've combined the best of two worlds. You got some dirt racing, and you got some short track racing, and you got them both here for the NORA Cup Series. Tonight, it's race 8 of 36. You can see 42 laps, 90 laps, and 150 the total. Those first two are the stages. We are set for an entire evening of action, including several heat races of qualifying before we get to that feature with all 150 laps. Hello again, everyone. I'm Trevor Greenfield, and you're watching VirtualRacing.Network. As always, the home of the NORA Cup and Truck Series. Every Monday and Tuesday night. Some weeks, Monday nights not happening for the trucks. Of course, following the real-life truck schedule. But pretty much every Tuesday night, this is where you can find the greatest NASCAR action on iRacing. So, as we get set for the very first qualifying heat for tonight, let's go ahead and show you the point standings as they are right now in NORA. And there you can see it on your screen. Vincent Arthur leading the way. Ronnie Norman in second place, not very far out of that points total. Brady Moats running in third. He's dropped a spot from last week. Norman climbing that spot, now into second place. But very tight points battle with Matthew George now showing up there in fourth place. And John Cottle, that great performance last week, now gaining another 2 spots up into the top 5. Still early to go in this season, but of course, you'll want to make that playoffs at the end, so all of that matters. Here's a look at the owner standings after 7 races. Flatline Motorsports still dominating, but this week it's the 33 of Flatline Motorsports that's in the lead, taking over from that 24 from last week. And then you can look, a lot of these cars still the same as they were back to 7th place, where some more changes have been happening. But keep an eye on that owners points battle as it goes, as it gets closer and closer to the time when those points really matter. But here we go, folks. We're getting ready for tonight's action. It is the very first qualifying race for NORA. There you can see the starting grid. We're just about to get going here. And once again, should be a whole different kind of race than any of these Cup drivers are used to. So much just asphalt racing. A lot of these drivers never having taken a race on the dirt. But there you can see the starting grid for tonight, for the very first heat race, with Matthew Hibbs going to be on pole position. Of course, this is P-Pick. And alongside will be Jake Christenberry. Second row will be Brian Powell. And then Jacob Gladelich. Starting on that third row will be Nick Geilis and Brandon Dunford. And then on the fourth row will be Joey Stats. So great to have a great group here in this first group. But I tell you what, 7 cars a lot easier to deal with than what we're going to see here in a little bit of time, with more than 20 of these Cup cars out there. But we get ready to roll here. So great to have you with us here on VirtualRacing.Network. Hope you're excited for a great evening of action. Last night, the truck racing was just something else. For those of you that missed it, you definitely need to go back and watch calling those races with Christian Snyder. And my voice was getting a little hoarse towards the end of the night. There was so much action on the track. Here tonight, if it's anything like that, we are going to have our entire evening filled. You won't need your whole seat. You'll just need the edge. I mean, just get your favorite beverages lined up for you, and you won't miss anything. Here we go. We are underway here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Brian Powell already out to a quick lead over Nick Geilis. Jake Christenberry there in third, dropping back slightly as Jacob Gladelich now marching up through the order. Already Powell gaining 2 spots there on that start. So looking good for Brian Powell. Namesake of Brian Powell Motorsports, Nick Geilis. You can see him back there in the yellow machine for Nightmare Motorsports. Saw a Facebook post from Nightmare Motorsports. Great to see them getting their social media presence out there. They're excited about tonight's potential and chances at taking victory here. I think they were very much watching carefully last night to see what the possibilities were for them and what they needed to do to possibly take victory. But Jake Christenberry holding on to a strong 3rd place right now for Prestige TRD. Joey States there for Nightmare Motorsports as well in this field and currently running in 4th. He's gained 3 spots. Jacob Vladelich racing side by side with Brandon Dunford. Dunford racing forward there also with Nightmare Motorsports. So you got 4 Nightmare Motorsports team members all in this field. And I think I'm hearing that we may have some sort of an incident. Matthew Hibbs has checked out of this race, so he's no longer part of this one. And there is Vladelich still going around, but may have had an incident early on. Let's take a look back here. This was lap 3. I'm not sure if we had an incident or not, but it says that Dunford did have a moment here on lap 3. Potentially just not as much of an incident as we might think, but either way, we'll go back to the live picture here. Brian Powell, your leader, with Nick Geilis still running in 2nd. He's up into that wall, though. Geilis has got to be really careful. We're going to see this a lot tonight. We saw it last night with the truck. These cars really running up there in that cushion, trying to take advantage of it as much as they can, but also scraping that wall and not afraid to take on just a little bit of damage each and every corner, it seems like. There you can see States up there into the wall again. That beautiful 43 has seen better moments. So some of these drivers really struggling here in this first heat. Just 2 laps to go. 1 lap to go now. Barney the Flagman giving Brian Powell the 1 lap to go signal. There you can see the temperatures on your right-hand side. Just 51 degrees on the track. Not even sure how that's possible. Didn't think it went down that low, but it does. And it looks like Brian Powell going to take the victory here in heat number 1 with Nick Geilis not very far back. 3rd place to Christenberry. Dunford, a late charge there, but not able to come up in the podium positions. Still throwing the checkered flag for our last runners, Jacob Vladelich, and it looks like Stats and Matthew Hibbs have retired their vehicles to the garage. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the final results for heat number 1. There it is. Brian Powell for Powell Motorsports taking victory. Congratulations to him. And 2nd place going to Nick Geilis. 3rd to Jake Christenberry. 4th to Brandon Dunford. And 5th to Jake Christenberry in 3rd. Jacob Vladelich in 5th. Joey Stats in 6th, and Matthew Hibbs in 7th place. So we're already set to go here. We're gridding up for the next heat race, and this is going to be a good one. We've got a couple of the championship contenders in this one. Let's go ahead and take a look at the starting grid for heat race number 2. Jason Conover, last night he had fantastic run going, but too much of lap traffic getting in the way, and before you knew it, Jason Conover was into the wall, and that was the end of his evening. Ronnie Norman, he's one of the front runners in the championship, as is Vincent Arthur. He's going to be Norman's going to be starting on the front row with Jason. Vincent Arthur starting in that 2nd row as well. Matthew George going to be starting in that 2nd row. John Caudle in the 3rd row with Chad Engel going to be starting on the inside. So it looks like Engel on the outside. Zach Hollinger will be starting in that final spot there, the 7th spot for this race. So if you're out there watching along in YouTube land, let us know what you're thinking about tonight's racing action. We got 8 laps here to go in this heat race, and let us know where you're watching from, who you're rooting on, who you think's going to win the whole thing. Make sure to say hello, and more than likely, glad to shout you out here on the air on VirtualRacing.Network. If you're not already a subscriber, you might consider doing that. Get a chance to see all these great NORA Cup and Truck Series action races Mondays and Tuesday nights. And of course, we always appreciate if you can smash that like button. We are green here at Bristol once again. Jason Conover leading it. It looks like Vincent Arthur all over the back of Ronnie Norman, but Norman shoots ahead into turn number 1 and 2, right behind Jason Conover, and here comes Vincent Arthur once again. Arthur is riding that wall on the outside with that Pepsi machine, and I don't know that that is a legit maneuver, but he's just flinging it in there. You know, I've said this before. Christian Snyder out there watching, I believe, tonight, not able to join me here in the commentary booth, but Vincent Arthur looks like he belongs on Full Send Motorsports, not on Flatline. He's definitely pushing that send button real hard here in this heat race. But once again, you only got 7 laps to do it. It looks like Ronnie Norman slipping back there, having a little bit of trouble. Matthew George there in the number 8. And John Cottle kind of racing with each other. So, oh, and there looks like Cottle into the wall a little bit. So he's going to have to try to get that one together. Now kind of wall riding a little bit. Either way, Zach Hollinger, he's moved up a spot in the back, but that's because looks like Engel has had some issues there. He's dropped back a little ways. Tough to see for Engel, who's had some really good runs here on VirtualRacing.Network. But so far, it's actually the Vincent Arthur show, who has just passed Jason Conover for the lead. That's right, Vincent Arthur passing Jason Conover, the dirt specialist who races real-life dirt. You just saw Vincent Arthur take that position. Got this side-by-side battle a little further back. This is Matthew George out of the Flatline stable and his teammate, Ronnie Norman. And Ronnie has really dropped back here. He's all the way back into 4th. And I'm not sure if there's something wrong now with that Norman Chevrolet or Flatline, but he's going to try to get that one recovered. Get it going again up towards the front. Vincent Arthur standing sideways here, coming through the corner, on board with Arthur's machine, as he has found something here, but he's going to have to try to check up, and he tries, but he runs into the lap car, I believe, of Chad Engel, and that will bring out the caution. Oh my goodness me. That is going to turn the lead back over to Jason Conover, and that's shades of what Jason ran into last night in the truck. So really rough for Vincent, who was just leading that race, and runs into the lap machine. Just 2 laps remaining. Let's go ahead and back it up, take a look at what Arthur encountered. Just taps that car, and nothing he could do about it. One more look at it, this time from his perspective. He just doesn't know to go low, go high. Either way, brings it down into the barrels, and that is just not what he wanted to see at that point, for sure. So, tough going there for Vincent Arthur, who has decided to pull it into the pits, and there he sits right now. And it does look like we will get, I'm thinking we're going to do a green-white checkered. I wasn't sure if that was part of the heat races, but it does now show that there are 3 laps remaining, so I think we're going to get a green-white checkered here for the end of this heat race. But oh my goodness me, Arthur back out there, though, and he has not lost lap. So technically, Arthur's still in this one. All these drivers, except for Engel, possibly on the lead lap. I'm not sure, though. And are they going to give... I'm seeing Vincent Arthur back at the front. Not exactly sure, but now he's dropped back down. So we'll have to wait and see how this one plays out here. But it looks like Vincent Arthur is still in 6th place, just waiting for the timing and scoring to fully correct out. Like we may be experiencing a little bit of issues on our end as well with our overlay, but try to get that corrected for you. There we go. Looks like it's still kind of cycling around, and I'm not sure exactly what race control is trying to do there. It's gone back to 3 to go. So I think we're still trying to figure out what the running order is going to be, as race control is still trying to determine it. But that was something else there, seeing Vincent Arthur lay that move. That was really, I don't think I've seen anything quite like that on Jason Conover last night. This was the pass that we missed while we were looking at the back. Conover getting a little loose coming off the corner, and Arthur just in the right place to take advantage. So Arthur, I mean, he's shown himself well on ovals, asphalt ovals. He's shown himself well, obviously, on the road courses, but now starting to show well on dirt tracks. I mean, is there anything that Arthur can't do? Something else for sure. So I think we're going to restart this one with Conover still in the lead. Vincent Arthur out there in 6th place. Does look like we're preparing to go, so we are green here once again at Bristol Motor Speedway with Jason Conover in the lead. Nope, I take it back, we're not green. Still trying to sort it out apparently. So we're going to keep running these cars around. Hopefully they have enough gas to make it. Assume they filled up enough to do it. But Jason Conover shown in the lead. Ronnie Norman in 2nd. John Cottle in 3rd. Zach Hollinger in 4th. And it looks like all of these cars are on that lead lap. So real saving grace for some of these cars that had already fallen back. I'm not sure. There goes the truck this time. Will we get this one underway again? Conover leading it down to the green flag. Norman in 2nd. 2 to go this time. John Cottle flings it in there. Runs that high line up into the wall. No good for him. Still quite a gap. And then you look back. Here's Vincent Arthur trying to play catch up now. He's going to have to get around Zach Hollinger. He's only got another lap after this one to do it. There is Jason Conover. He's back out in the lead. And this time I don't think he's going to want to give it up. He's really running a perfect line there through the corner. And he slows down in the corner, just flipping that car on the wall. And it looks like it's going to be Jason Conover taking victory here at Bristol. Ronnie Norman in 2nd place. John Cottle taking 3rd. Vincent Arthur going to settle for 4th there after passing Hollinger. And that is going to do it for heat race number 2. Finally, once we got that one all sorted out, let's take a look at the final results. As you can see, Brian Powell Motorsports, Jason Conover taking victory here at Bristol for that 2nd heat race. Ronnie Norman taking 2nd. Out there, the Ronnie Norman fan club, very happy to hear. John Cottle in 3rd, Vincent Arthur in 4th, Zach Hollinger in 5th, Matthew George in 6th, and Chad Engel taking 7th place. All right, that one's done. Just like that, it's time to bring up the starting grid for our next heat race. Happening fast and furious here, I tell you what. they're already rolling on the track, so let's be quick with it. On the front row will be Peyton Tulloch and Timmy Harper for Harper Motorsports. Second row, Corey Danielson and Jared Wishin. Wishin taking victory last night. It was a stunner in the prep race. You'll have to go back and watch it. Third row, Cody Height and Brady Motes. And in that fourth row, Josh Conover. You can't count him out. He is a dirt master. He does it in real life. And he certainly looked fantastic here last night. Right up there on the podium. So who will it be here in the third heat, excuse me? It's been wild and crazy, just like we promised. Hope you're enjoying it out there. Speaking of which, checking in over on YouTube, Christian letting us know, Chris Full sent, hey Trevor, Christian here, ready to watch a great race tonight. If anything like last night, should be crazy. You bet. It's already been crazy. Another full moon, weird stuff happening tonight. I know, right? Full moon seems like is Bristol Dirt's middle name. Who was that dropping back? Is that Height? And there comes Timmy Harper out of nowhere, gaining that top spot. Wishin now up 2 spots in that beautiful machine. He's got a great full color reflective livery going on there. Chrome livery. We're having cars with all kinds of problems out here right now. Brady Motes up 3 spots. Josh Conover up 3 spots. Peyton Tulloch off of that lead position all the way back to 5th. Cody Height as well. Having some real issues there on the start. Corey Danielson also having an issue. Looks like we got some side-by-side there between Height and Tulloch. But Tulloch just continues to struggle. Number 1 car really having some trouble here at Bristol Dirt. There we take a look from Cody Height's point of view. Way up there is his teammate for Harper Motorsports. That's Timmy Harper, who had taken over the lead on that start, but now it looks like he's really struggling. Here's that 12th car coming through the corners. You gotta watch on board for a little bit and see what it's like. There, he's up into the wall, and I tell you, that is not the fast way through the corner. Some of these drivers going to get it, some of them aren't. Jared Wishin, he is up into the lead, though, and that's how quick it happens. He passed Timmy Harper for that lead just a moment ago, as Timmy now has fallen backwards into 4th place. Brady Motes, he was vocal last night in our YouTube chat. He's all the way up into 2nd, and just like that, it's only 5 laps remaining here in this 3rd heat race. Josh Conover for that HendrickCars.com, he's holding tight in that 3rd spot. And there is no transfers tonight. There's no, only 3 get in or 6 get in or whatever. It's everybody's getting into the main show. This is just going to determine the starting order for the race. So good news to anybody who is running at the back. They will get the whole feature race kind of sorted out. Cody Height running in 4th place and just trying to figure it out. He's now past Timmy Harper. So Timmy not getting the dirt thing to work out for him so far, but Harper Performance is trying to get this one together here, and it looks like they're running sort of 4th and 5th in this heat race. Jared Wishin, though, for KPR, he's just picking up what he left off last night, and he was super strong last night. Let me tell you, it was something else to watch, kind of in a class of his own, at least when Jason Conover wasn't out there. When Jason was out there, he seemed to have everybody covered. But tonight, a whole different story. So white flag in hand, jumping on board as we go under that flag stand, and Jared Wishin taking victory here at Bristol. 2nd place goes to Josh Conover, who takes 5 positions there, and Brady Motes, who takes 3 spots. So Cody Height taking 4th. Peyton Tulloch going to bring it home in that 5th spot. Good stuff there. Wishin certainly looking like he is the car to beat tonight, but that's no surprise. Here is your final running order from the 3rd heat race of the evening. Of course, Jared Wishin taking that victory. Josh Conover taking 2nd. Brady Motes in 3rd, Cody Height in 4th, Peyton Tulloch in 5th, Timmy Harper in 6th, and Corey Danielson taking 7th. So with that, we're going to be able to do a little warm-up here, and we're going to take a quick break. We will be right back for the starting grid, so make yourselves comfortable, take your bathroom breaks now, get your favorite beverage lined up, all that good stuff. We'll see you back here in just a moment, and we'll get this one started with the starting grid. Then we'll be jumping into tonight's 150-lap feature. Stay tuned here on VirtualRacing.Network. And welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. We are all set. We're just about to get gridded up, and let's go ahead and take a look at the starting grid for tonight's feature race. Round number 8, Bristol Dirt for the NORA Cup Series 2023. It'll be Brian Powell of Brian Powell Motorsports starting on pole position. Just outside will be Jason Conover, also of Brian Powell Motorsports, so they take a sweep of the front row. Jared Wishin for KPR Motorsports on the second row, with Nick Geilis from Nightmare Motorsports. Ronnie Norman in that third row for Flatline, and his teammate Josh Conover going to be joining him on that third row. Fourth row for Jake Christenberry out of Prestige TRD, top Toyota in tonight's field, and John Cottle for Harper Motorsports. Fifth row will go to Brady Moats for Brian Powell Motorsports and Brandon Dunford for Nightmare. Vincent Arthur going to be on that sixth row with Flatline Motorsports, and Cody Height for Harper Motorsports. Starting in 13th will be Jacob Vladelich for JRC Race Team, and alongside will be Zach Hollinger for the Hollinger Racing Team. Then it's Peyton Pollitt for the JRC Sim Team, and alongside will be Joey Stats for Nightmare Motorsports. Matthew George going to be starting for Flatline Motorsports alongside Timmy Harper for Harper Motorsports. Matthew Hibbs for Nightmare Motorsports alongside Chad Ingle for Brian Powell Motorsports, and the final starter tonight will be Corey Danielson for the Capital Motor Club. So we get set for 150 laps here at Bristol Motor Speedway Dirt. I mean, could you ask for anything other than to watch a bunch of NASCAR Next Gen cars that really were not designed to go on the dirt? Somebody said one day, let's see if we can make this work. And here it is. We're doing it in iRacing just the same ways they did it this last weekend in real life. And what fun we are about to have. Stay tuned, everybody, for 150 laps of mayhem. Brian Powell will lead us down to the green flag here. And we are green at Bristol. Jason Conover already charging to the front. Brian Powell settling into second. Now Nick Geilis racing up into that third spot for Nightmare Motorsports, taking that spot from Jared Wishin, who was last night's winner in the Truck Series. So looks like Conover getting high up in the corner there. Racing hard, though, so far. We got some more action back here. 3 wide, headed down the front straightaway. There right now is Josh Conover racing John Cottle, excuse me, side by side as they come down the straight. Conover tucking in behind Cottle. And now you can see that looks like Vincent Arthur tucking in to the inside of Josh Conover. Nick Geilis, in the meantime, has worked his way all the way up into second, and now we've got some side-by-side with Jared Wishin and Brian Powell. Wishin drifts out sideways, and here comes Brian Powell for Brian Powell Motorsports. He wants that position back. So Powell not playing dead in this one. He's going to try all he can to try to stay up there in the front, and his tail wags out and tags Wishin going out there and tapping into that wall. There you can see on board, looking out the back of Powell's machine towards Wishin. Drivers really trying to fight for every single square inch of racetrack. Dipping sideways through the corners. Up front, though, he's already covering by 1.6 seconds, and he's just picking up where he did last night. Jason Conover, and he can just manage to avoid the lap cars. He may have a victory in his hands tonight, but it's a long ways out. Nick Geilis running in second, going up there and tagging the wall a little bit as he comes through the corner. My goodness, I don't know if these cars are going to be able to take that kind of beating and banging all night, but these two aren't done trying to trade spaces. Brian Powell, Jared Wishin having a heck of a battle out here. Now I'm seeing a yellow flag. It looks like Cody Height and John Cottle involved in it. Cottle now sitting on pit road. Let's go ahead and jump back and see if we can figure out what happened. This was Cody Height having a moment here. Oh, just makes contact with Cottle, who must have drifted backwards. Let's go ahead, see if we can tell what happened from Cottle's point of view. There, it looks like he's already possibly in an incident. So let's just see. It looks like a self-inflicted incident for Cottle as he gets sideways and just rides that car down to the bottom line and gets tagged there by, I believe that's the 21 of Zach Pollinger, and then the 22 makes contact, Cody Height. Looks like Peyton Pollock possibly involved in that one as well. Not the way you want to get things going if you're Height there for Harper Motorsports. But it has so far been the Jason Conover show as he's taken the lead spot from Brian Powell right on that opening lap. Hasn't really looked back. Nick Geilis running in second, Brian Powell in third. We're going to step away for just a quick second. We'll be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network. And welcome back here, VirtualRacing.Network. Of course, I'm Trevor Greenfield. Great to have you with us here as we get set to go green flag racing here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Wait these cars to have the pace truck pull off and Jason Conover to step on that gas once again. Brian Powell working his way back into second position after struggling with that start. Will Conover be able to dominate the rest of this stage? Will Brian Powell have something to say about it? Just about to find out the answer to that question. Here comes Conover into one. We're looking a little bit more action here mid-pack. You can see Ronnie Norman in the middle of that one with Josh Conover on the outside just behind Zach Hollinger. That's Vincent Arthur up there in front. Quite a bunch of tagging going on here between these drivers, just swapping paint, sliding up through the corners. There is Vincent Arthur getting into the back of the number 3 of Nick Gillis. Now Conover getting into that mix. Though Arthur sliding up the track, but number 3 of Gillis still staying. And there is Wishin right there at the center of your screen now getting part of this. Looks like some drivers still really struggling with this dirt configuration. We are yellow once again. I think it was Engel who maybe had a moment there. In fact, I do see the Chad Engel crashing. So let's take a look at what caused this caution. This is Engel up high in the corner. And he pulls it down and hits that inside wall, the pit entrance, bringing out that caution in his Brian Powell Motorsports Ford. So with that, we're going to step aside once again. We'll be right back here to bring you back to the green flag. Stay tuned. Welcome back here, VirtualRacing.Network. I'm Trevor Greenfield. You're watching live here, round number 8 for the NORA Cup Series as we're about to get going green here again on lap number 20. The choose cone playing a role last night. Tonight, no different, as Vincent Arthur has been able to climb his way all the way up there back into second place. So with Conover and Arthur now at the front, Josh Conover racing in 4th place and Jared Wishin there in 5th. We've got some real explosive TNT type action waiting for you as we get ready to go. It is green here, and Conover already out to that early lead. There's Vincent Arthur taking that low line. Brian Powell working on the high line with Josh Conover down to that low line. I wonder if the low line is going to play a little bit more of a role tonight. Last night it took a long time for that low line to really come in. Here it looks like it's starting to come in a little bit earlier. Now we're seeing Josh Conover really having to work on Brian Powell. And Powell losing that position on the outside, so possibly that low line starting to dig in. Now we got Wishin going for the high line, and it's not quite working, bringing down the car a little bit. Here comes Zach Hollinger for Hollinger Racing in that 6th position. So the 21 now gets taken out by the 12 car of Timmy Harper, and Harper tries to clear him out, but Zach Hollinger, the recipient of the good old chrome horn, go ahead and take a look. I think we know what happened, but it's not going to be any prettier to watch it in the replay, but this was just a moment ago. Timmy Harper getting up into the 21, 33 just sliding by of Ronnie Norman. He would have seen that directly right on, so let's see what it looked like from Norman's point of view. He's on board with Ronnie Norman as he sees the 12 get into unfortunate action there, and Ronnie Norman gets a free pass on that deal. So once again, great to have you with us here on the network. Make sure to check in wherever you're watching from. How many cautions do you think there will be tonight? Maybe I should put up a poll and we could find out. Last night there was a lot of cautions. There was like 7 cautions in the first 70 laps or so, but then after that it kind of cooled down a little bit. So with that, we will be right back here at VirtualRacing.Network. Stay tuned. And with that, the third caution does come to a close, and we're back underway here with Vincent Arthur squirming back there sideways as he now manages to hold on. But Jason Conover really struggling with that start as well, but managing to get it together. Brian Powell now dipping down to the inside of Josh Conover, and Conover riding that high line. It does seem to be working okay here on the start. Here comes Jared Wishon up behind, trying his hardest to get that position away from Brian Powell. And it looks like he's cooled off just a little bit, but Wishon, and Wishon into the side of Powell. I think Powell just didn't really get going. Wishon trying to get it going there again. You see Jake Christenberry now starting to charge forward, trying to take that position back that he lost earlier. Joey States up 9 positions so far into 7th with that 43 car. And once again, side by side between Wishon and Powell. Wishon to the inside and move him up into that 5th spot once again. Looking at the front though, here's Arthur trying to take the lead from Conover. Side by side they run. Looking behind, there's Arthur in the Pepsi Flatline Chevy. Conover running his Brian Powell Motorsports Ford out there in front. So Ford versus Chevy as they come down the front straightaway, and just 7 laps remaining until the end of stage 1. Still racing hard here for first, just behind. Josh Conover holding on well to that 3rd spot. Jared Wishon now solidly into 4th, but Ronnie Norman in the 33 Chevy for Flatline now comes on the high side and manages to take that position away from Brian Powell. Powell and Brady Moats, teammates now running in 6th and 7th. Here comes Brady Moats on the inside of Brian Powell. He's going to try to do this one as clean as possible, but you're out there racing in the dirt, so hard to do anything clean out there. Back up in front, though, Conover's managed to walk a few car lengths on Vincent Arthur, so currently looking pretty good for Conover to hold on to this one. But just as I say that, I would say that if Conover's struggling this much with the car and Arthur lays that bumper into Conover a little bit, I mean, if Jason is struggling that much to keep the car pointed exactly straight, it really does say exactly how difficult it is. Why don't we go ahead and jump on board? We can see exactly what's going on with these cars. This is exactly what Conover would be seeing. Watch how much action is going on with those hands. He has got his absolute hands full here tonight. You can see him just barely coming up and touching the wall, sliding it off the corner. You can see lap car just up in front. A lot of scraping out there tonight. Would not want to have to be the one who has to paint these cars for the following week. That is for certain. Now this is where Jason ran into trouble last night. Countered a lap car just like that. Oh my goodness. I don't know who that was, but it brings out the yellow flag. Is that Vincent Arthur? Unfortunately, I think maybe got caught in that. No, he did not. It does say that he crashed, but I think that's just because he came to such a slowdown. I'm going to take a look at that. I think that might have been Zach Hollinger, but let's go ahead and go back to what just caused that. Was it in fact Zach Hollinger? Indeed it was. Hollinger sliding up the track, and it was Arthur who came to a stop on track, but manages to hold on to that 2nd place. Some really heads-up driving there by Vincent Arthur to avoid that. What heads-up driving to come to a total stop. I don't know how he avoided that. Here, he sees the incident unfolding in front of him, and he basically just noses Hollinger backwards and somehow survives, with Josh Conover racing up on the outside there. But either the yellow flag coming out before Conover could make the pass, or Conover just kind of seeing what was happening and giving that position up to Arthur. So with that, we're going to take another break, and that does actually bring out, it coincides with the end of stage 1. So assuming that they run exactly this way for the end of stage 1, this is your running order, although I don't see Arthur. I think Arthur is now making a pit stop. So Conover taking the win for stage 1, and Arthur in second, Josh Conover in third. Stay tuned here at VirtualRacing.Network. We'll be back with stage 2 right after this. And we are green here once again at Bristol Motor Speedway with Jason Conover leading us back down to that green flag. Here comes Jared Wishin, and we've got already another yellow flag. I think it's Matthew George having a big issue. Jake Christenberry possibly getting into another vehicle, and there he manages to get his Prestige TRD back up and running. Let's go ahead and see if we can tell exactly what took place there. I think, you know, I'm seeing that Christenberry was in 5th, so let's go ahead and take a look from where he starts to lose this position for 5th. There, the 3-car getting into Christenberry, and Christenberry just losing control. That was Guylas who had tagged the back end of Christenberry. Christenberry kind of didn't really do much wrong there. He just went for a ride. So, fortunately, that one bringing out our next caution. And that is our it's our 5th caution of the day so far. We're only working on lap 47. So I posted a poll over in the YouTube chat. How many cautions do you think we will have tonight? Let us know. I've got 50% of the results saying under 7. Well, maybe if they clean it up a lot, that might be possible. Then you've got 7 to 12 taking 50% of the vote as well. Still a long time to vote for that one, so make sure to get your vote heard over there in the YouTube chat. As I said, as always, feel free to check in with us. Let us know who you're watching, where you're watching from, and who you're rooting on. We do always appreciate checking in with us. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure to smash that subscribe button. That doesn't hurt either. Get a chance to see all these great NORA Cup and Truck Series races right here on VirtualRacing.Network. And also smash that like button. You know, just all the things that you can do. Hit the notify on future races. You know, you get all the goodies here on VirtualRacing.Network. And you get to hear me talk a lot. And isn't that just wonderful? Sometimes I really think it'd be better if we just went stands commentator for a while and just let you experience the noise of these cars. So why don't we do that? We'll go the whole next period, the whole next green flag. I'll keep all the cameras rolling, but I'll just not call any of the racing action. I'll just let you listen to the beauty of these NASCAR Next Gen NASCAR. So stay tuned for that. We'll be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network. Well, you can see exactly what has happened. Jason Conover and Josh Conover having a coming together there. We'll have to see if we can sort this one out, because we were trying to catch up on all of this other racing action that was going on. Here they were racing side by side just a moment ago, and Josh Conover just sliding up the track into his brother, Jason Conover. That is one brother into another, and unfortunately, I hope there isn't too much damage to Jason Conover's machine. Looks like there is a bit of front end damage on that machine, so let's see if we can get back to that. There was another incident just a little bit further back. We can get over to Jason Conover's point of view here and take a look and see. My goodness, there is some definite crumpling that happens there on the front end of that 17 machine. Fortunate stuff for Jason. And if we take a look a little bit further back, this was Kristen Berry just a moment ago having another issue. There he gets tagged sideways by the 21. Is that Zach Hollinger yet again getting into Kristen Berry? Tough luck for these two. Kristen Berry, the second time he's been wiped out there, so difficult running here on VirtualRacing.Network, no matter where you're running, except if you're Jared Wishin. That's 2 nights in a row he's been the beneficiary of Jason Conover crashing out. So will Conover be able to recover? Hopefully there's not too much damage to that car. We'll be right back here in just a moment on VirtualRacing.Network. Stay tuned. And welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. Yes, indeed, so far already hitting that 6 caution, so we're staying well ahead of the mark set last night, but we'll see whether or not we make it more than 7 cautions or where we end up on that number. It's just something fun to bet on. If you've got a chance, head over to our YouTube chat room, say hello, of course, but you can also vote in our poll of how many cautions we'll have tonight, or let us know who you're rooting on. That's the main thing. We're green again, and this time it's Jared Wishon and Vincent Arthur side by side here. Looks like Josh Conover, last car, going to be on the lead lap, and that is some sad news. I see Ronnie Norman banging up into the wall there on that start. Not a great start for Ronnie, as he's now starting to drift backwards. Here comes Timmy Harper on the inside, as Ronnie really struggling back there. Not sure exactly what happened, but going to try to get that thing fired back up there at the 33. Running up there into the wall. There goes Jason Conover by. And there comes, looks like Joey State's trying to go by on the low line. Ronnie just loving to kiss that wall, but I don't think that's the fast way through. And now he's going to make slight contact with the 43. And he gets turned by the number 3. Oh my goodness, of Nick Geilis. And now he's backwards, just as we were focused on that one. Things go from bad to worse for Ronnie Norman. Let's see if we can tell exactly what happened there. But Geilis was approaching Norman at a fast rate. And it looks like, just as Norman tried to correct, Geilis sent him around and he himself goes around. There he gets it going again. You know, last night he said if he won the race, he was going to buy a sword. And, well, it didn't work out for him last night. The Lake City, Florida driver for Nightmare Motorsports, well, he's still, I think, on the lead lap, so he's still got a chance at this one, as does Ronnie Norman. Dude, you know, just because you cause a caution, you got a couple of bent corners on your machine, that doesn't really matter too much. See Jacob Gladelich heading down pit road here with Nick Geilis also on pit lane. Vincent Arthur taking damage, repair possibly here for Flatline Motorsports. Cody Height as well. Going to want to get back out before that field circles around. Want to make sure that they stay up here on the lead lap. But Brian Powell is now shown in the lead here at Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. So we get set to come back to green flag here after that difficult turnaround between Guylis and Ronnie Norman. Brian Powell that is going to be up in the lead with Timmy Harper. Jared Wishin back in third with Jason Conover in fourth. Brandon Dumford in fifth with Jake Christenberry in sixth place to get this one back underway. So Christenberry really recovering well. Here's Brian Powell, though, out there in the lead, and he's going to see to it that he takes to the front. But my goodness, there's Jason Conover right in that mix already. It's 3 wide down the front straightaway. Down the back straight, and there they fire into turn 3, and it looks like we've got Brian Powell up into the wall. Jared Wishin merges ahead and takes over that top spot, so Wishin back into the lead here at Bristol. Brian Powell in second place with Jason Conover in third in that DeWalt 17 car, excuse me. There, Harper manages to get by, and Brian Powell squirming all over the track. Now Conover and Powell make contact, and Powell is around. No, I'm sorry, that's Timmy Harper that's around. The 12 car and the 23 of Jake Christenberry make contact. I was just going to say that I think Christenberry really had recovered nicely, but well, let's take a look and see from Christenberry's point of view exactly what took place there. You can see him wrecking up in front. On board with Christenberry and no place to go. Kind of gets pushed up to the high side there by the 20 of Brandon Dunford, and that puts him right into the 12 machine of Timmy Harper, who was sideways on the track. So once again, we are going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, the pace truck is off, and we are back underway here at Bristol, and it looks like Powell already having an issue. That's back there dropping back a little bit. Brady Moats having an issue. I mean, there goes, oh my goodness, a big crash there. I think numerous cars involved here tonight. I mean, it's getting difficult to even call these ones out. There's so much action. And here we're already back at caution again. So the 43 getting caught up in that one of Joey's stats there. Let's go ahead and jump back and take a look at what happened as it rolled to just from the green flag. And, well, there's the 17 getting into the 43, and that takes out the 8. Another vehicle as well. I think that was Peyton Tulloch in the number 1 car. So the 43 of Nightmare Motorsports, this is, I hate to keep saying it this way each week, but kind of a nightmare there for Stats, who was up there in the top 5, now has drifted a long ways back. We've got Jacob Vladelich coming into the pits. I think Ronnie Norman tucking into the pits, taking on service. Cody Height also into pit lane. Peyton Tulloch and Timmy Harper all getting service here on pit road. Joey Stats as well. Dylas on pit lane. A lot of drivers choosing to use this caution. Take some extra repairs. Jared Wishin, though, having a great run of it so far. Going to be able to close out this second stage. Got about another 13 laps to go. Stay tuned on VirtualRacing.Network. And welcome back live here to the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway. You're watching NORA Cup Series action on VirtualRacing.Network. We're just about to get this one going again. How many times can we get it going tonight? That is the question, as we're now on lap number 80. This is our 9th caution, and Jared Wishin leading us back to the green flag. Brandon Dunford in 2nd place. Josh Conover there in 3rd. Brady Moats in 4th. Brian Powell holding on to 5th at the moment. They come marching through the corners here. Side by side they run. For our drone cameras, there's Jared Wishin looking good so far, out over a second right now over Brandon Dunford, who's racing side by side with Josh Conover. Throwing that car sideways through the corner. It looks like so much fun, but requires so much concentration between these drivers. There's Josh Conover riding the high side. Goes Wishin. Again, thrown in underneath our drone cameras. Second there, Brandon Dunford, and third to Brian Powell Motorsports at the moment. Taking a look at Brian Powell as he comes through the corner. Some side-by-side action just behind with Josh Conover marching ahead and through that pack, but Brian Powell still holding on to third. Brady Moats there, also part of this racing for that top 5. Currently looking at the inside of Josh Conover, and you know, Brady's kind of playing that safe line down low. I think that's maybe helping him out a little bit. Vincent Arthur back into this battle. Good to see that number 24 back up into this mix, just trying to stay clean there. Racing with Jason Conover. These two have already seen the lead, but right now, currently only running 6th and 7th, so they're going to be looking to get back up there and take that position away. And here we are, a yellow flag yet again. I believe it's Jake Christenberry getting into another incident there. Christenberry sits sideways on the straightaway, so let's go ahead and jump back and see if we can figure it out. This time I think it's Harper and Christenberry getting into each other. We can tell exactly what took place here. There's Harper, and Christenberry just more or less takes himself out on Harper's machine. Just sliding up into the car, and that putting him up into the outside wall. So 28-year-old recovering there. And with that, it'll probably bring us to the end of stage number 1. Or stage number 2, excuse me, which is very interesting. Wishin, I think, just coming down pit lane. I don't think gonna make a pit stop, or is going to make a pit stop, and that's going to give the lead up to Vincent Arthur, Joey Stats, and I don't think these drivers, I mean, unless they absolutely needed to come into the pits, I don't think they realize what lap it is, because this is going to give these top 2 drivers a chance. We'll have to see how this plays out as we come back to the green flag. But lap number 90 is the end of stage 2, so it does appear as though Vincent Arthur will get credit for winning stage 2. But stay tuned here. We'll be right back in just a moment. with that, the pace truck pulls in, and we're back underway here with Vincent Arthur leading Joey Stats and Jared Wishin, Brady Moats, and Brandon Dumford. That's how stage number 2 came to a close. And here comes Jared Wishin on the high side on Joey Stats in that 43. Wishin up into second easily. Now going to try Vincent Arthur on the outside with the same move. No, can't quite do it. Here comes Brandon Dunford as well. And we're yellow again here in Bristol Motor Speedway. This time it looks like it was either Chad Engel, who now has got it going again, or Peyton Pollock. Take your choice. So let's take a look at Engel's incident just a moment ago. Engel on the high side and a little too high on the high side. There it comes into pit lane. And just to collect that one back up. Peyton Pollock, however, hitting sideways. Oh, coming together there with the number 8. That's Matthew George for Flatline Motorsports, and Peyton Pollock having a little bit of a running together there. So one more look here from on board with Peyton. I mean, you're basically helpless in some of these situations. There's really not much to do once that dirt gets a hold, and you can't really take it sideways. So with that, we're going to jump once again off into the ether and take a break. We'll be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network. The green flag is back out here with Vincent Arthur in the lead, Jared Wishin just behind, and Brandon Dumford in third. Just finish up our 11th caution on the night. Now racing just about to get onto our 100th lap of the night. And Wishin trying to take a look on that inside of Vincent Arthur. A little bit further back, still a lot of battling here. Looks like the 43 on the outside of the 15, the 43 of Joey Stat. Trying to take Brady Motes as he does there, and Stats moves back up a little bit. 15 of, actually Brady Motes, excuse me, racing with Jason Conover there in the 17. And there, Motes on the low line. Jason Conover just trying to get back up there to the front where he was. I got Chad Engel having a moment here at the back. Like he manages to get that one recovered. Back at the front, Vincent Arthur. It does stay green, my goodness. Like Engel still having trouble back there, and Engel sideways causing an issue, and that will bring out our 12th caution of the night. So those of you in the YouTube chat, you thought I was being funny, man, when I posted that poll and asked how many cautions would we have tonight. Would it be more than 15? Well, those of you who voted for more than 12, you're the correct one so far. See if we get up to that magical 15 number that we're all hoping to see here on VirtualRacing.Network. Chad Engel helping us to reach that goal. Thanks to Chad. We're now working on lap number 103 and our 12th caution. So we'll be back right after this one to cover some more green flag action. Stay tuned. And the pace truck pulls in. We're back underway here at Bristol. Vincent Arthur down into turn one first. Jared Wishin on the high side trying to take that position back. There's Brandon Dunford in third spot now, up 7 positions tonight. Jason Conover at 17, not done trying to take positions. Now just up in front, side by side, you can see Jared Wishon and Vincent Arthur. Wishon on that outside. Arthur still holding down on that low line and making it work. Just barely keeping his nose ahead as we go through the corner. And there it looks like Wishon getting up into the wall a little bit. That costing him a little bit of speed down the straightaway as Arthur emerges back in that front position. This time unchallenged by Wishon on that outside. Now they cross over. Arthur on the outside and Wishon on the inside. Arthur holding it on the outside, but we're still side by side trying to decide who is going to take the lead of this one. Lap 111, still racing side by side here at Bristol in the dirt. Wishon pulls ahead by just a little bit. There's Arthur still hanging on into second, but Wishon now pulls that one out. Here comes Arthur down low once again in that 24 Pepsi Chevy. Tries to send it down into the corner. Arthur not quite able to. Now he's going to take a look at the outside again. No doing. He's going to try the inside. Once again, no doing. Tries to get a wheel up on Vincent, on Wishon, and he can't quite do it. So they continue to race for position. Look a little bit further back. That's Brandon Dunford, another fellow Floridian, racing in that third spot. Here's Kristen Berry sitting backwards on the track. Josh Conover comes to a standstill. Kristen Berry smacks the inside wall. What happened this time, Kristen Berry and Conover? Well, let's check it out. Kristen Berry, and it looks like Conover just manages to tag the back end of Kristen Berry. Josh Conover not having the type of dirt racing night that he thought he might have here tonight. You know, last night he thought he might be able to take victory, but it was tough going. Here tonight, he's not even in the top 10 at the moment. Kristen Berry also struggling here as well. So that's what time it is. It's time for us to take a break here on VirtualRacing.Network. We'll be right back, everybody. we come back here just in time to see him take the green flag again. Wishing and Arthur going to give it another shot, as we've now just experienced our 13th caution on the evening. Wishing going to be trying to bring it down to the green flag, and he's only got to survive 32 more laps here, whether they're caution or green, to take victory and sweep the weekend of NORA. But Arthur wants to be the spoiler, and of course, Arthur looking at a possible points championship here. He wants to do everything he can to try to hold on here in second place. Wishing racing for owner points. And now we've got Brian Powell drifting back in the on track here, losing a number of positions on that start. All the way back there into 7th, but now he's managed to collect it, coming forward again, just behind the 25 and the 43 of Conover and Stat. Looks like Brandon Dunford holding down in 3rd just fine, and the Ronnie Norman fan club and YouTube land has something to really rejoice over. There he is running in that 4th spot. So managed to recover quite nicely. Back here a little ways, down in 13th and 14th. This is Tulik, Gladilich that have managed to, Tulik there, Gladilich a ways back, and Brady Moats all managed to recover. Still on that lead lap. Matthew George now just in front in that 8 car, and you can see Brian Powell, they're really still struggling. That 37 alongside of Cody Height. This just inside the top 10 for 9th and 10th place at the moment. Kristen Berry just up in front of this duo that is swapping positions back there for 9th and 10th. Kristen Berry now looking on the outside of Josh Conover, trying to take that position, and he'll do it on the outside, and it looks like Conover making contact. Kristen Berry and now the 22 of Cody Height getting involved. It looks like the number 1 of Peyton Tulik's night continues to get worse. Here's Kristen Berry sitting on track. He'll get it going again. We've still got Cody Height sitting down low on the track. Going to get it rolling again, and no yellow flags. Unbelievable stuff, but no yellow flags as Jared Wishing manages to get around all of that mess, and also so does Vincent Arthur. So lap cars all the way up to 12th place at the moment. 3rd place, Brandon Dunford, still holding it down. That's Jake Christenberry on the outside. He's not part of that conversation for 3rd. Ronnie Norman there in 4th place. Once again, starting to get a little bit of gaps between these cars. Maybe that's not such a bad thing with 25 to go. Maybe a little bit less car contact will lead to a little bit less yellow flags out there. Jason Conover there in 5th place in the 17. He's just trying to get back up to the front. That's where he was running so well earlier on, but so much trouble tonight and so many difficult laps there that he's managed to make contact with other cars. Joey Stats in 6th place, up 10 positions so far tonight. Good for him for Nightmare Motorsports. Gonna try to get back up there into that top 5 though. Brian Powell running hard here in 7th place. Of course, he started on the pole tonight, so he'll definitely be looking to try to get back up onto that podium, but still circulating in 7th place. It seems like every single time he's had a chance to get up there into podium territory, something has caused him to drift back. So Wishing continuing to lead with just 22 to go. Vincent Arthur trying to close that gap. Now it's down under 1.2 seconds. Take a look at the time, and I was just going to say the time delta. Joey Stat sideways on the track there in the 43, and this time he's going to go ahead and tow it into the pits. I'm not sure if that's the end of the night for Stats, but he's going to try to get that one fixed. I mean, it's definitely going to put him a lap down. I think maybe just had enough. And so want to thank all of you who continue to stay on board with us here on VirtualRacing.Network. There's been easier races for sure to make it through. But there, I've published the final results. 6 of you voting tonight. We appreciate everybody voting in. 50% of you said that 7 to 12 was going to be the number of cautions. Well, we blew through that. And 16% of you, so one of you said it's going to be less than 7. Well, that was quite optimistic. One of you said 12 to 15. Well, we're still looking okay at that. If we can keep it green the rest of the way, maybe that'll happen. But one of you called for over 15, and it may just be you who's correct in your assessment of how many cautions there will be tonight. Either way, it's been fun to watch this one, maybe a little sloppy at times, but we've certainly seen Jason Conover, Jared Wishen, Vincent Arthur, a number of these drivers really doing well out here tonight. And it's a lot harder than it seems. That's all I can say. You see this many number of drivers struggling. It's that difficult to keep that car pointed in the right direction. But so far, it's been all Wishen here on VirtualRacing.Network this week. Will it be him to the checkered flag? Stay tuned and find out here very shortly. Well, as we get set to go again, can we go green flag racing to the end? I know that's asking for a lot, but it's possible. Jared Wishen leads us back to the green flag here with just 16 to go. Vincent Arthur in second, and there's Jason Conover up there in that battle as well once again. Got Brian Powell sitting backwards, didn't even make it a lap. And we've got another yellow flag here, so let's see if we can determine. That is, in fact, our 15th caution. So whoever voted out there for 15 plus cautions, you're the winner tonight. And what you've won is the ability to rewatch this race over and over again. That's your grand prize. You get to watch this race 20 times in a row and enjoy every moment of it over and over again, reliving every single yellow flag lap to your heart's content. Congratulations to the winner of the bowl here in VirtualRacing.Network land. Jared Wishen doing his best to survive. It's a lot of hurry up and slow down, kind of like making a movie, you know, hurry up and wait. But Wishen would just love this one. Might say he might wish for this one to finish up under green, just so he can get some more racing action in than doing what we affectionately have nicknamed iRacing back in the day to iPacing, as there's more pacing under caution than there seems to be green flag racing at times. But I think we've all been through this. And, you know, again, it's easy to criticize out here. I'm outside the cockpit. I'm not having to do any of this racing. It's very close quarters racing and also dirt racing in cars that were never meant to go dirt racing in. It's very difficult to do. But also, if I do say so, you know, we've all been in these races where even on asphalt, cars that are made to do this, drivers that are, you know, very talented at this, you still end up with a ton of cautions. And it just happens. And I think a lot of times, if you're somebody like Jared Wishin, you've probably been through this a number of times. Vincent Arthur, he's been through a lot of races as well. Jason Conover, you know, he dealt with some of this in real life as well, where just cautions lead into other cautions. And it's just something that you deal with. It's part of racing. You got to take the cautions where you do get them. And if there's one positive advantage to this for both Wishin and Arthur and Jason Conover, it's that it allows everybody to group back up together again. And that means that there's less likelihood of running into a lapped car. Because there's going to be that many more laps until you encounter the lapped cars that are in front of you. So 12 laps to go here. It should be about 10 by the time that we get this one going again. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. And we come back to the green flag here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and it's Jared Wishin who's in the lead for KPR Motorsports, with Vincent Arthur holding strong in second. There's Jason Conover trying to make a bid for that second spot. He's going to fall back just a little bit for Brian Powell Motorsports, and there in fourth place is Brandon Dunford for Nightmare. He's trying to get up there and take a claim on this podium. I don't think Jared Wishin is going to let go, though. He's been doing so well tonight out in the front, and he remembers last night. He's not willing to take it, but I tell you what, Conover, and this is a big one, Jason Conover. Oh my goodness, this was not what any of these drivers wanted to see. Josh Conover involved, Jason Conover involved, and Brandon Dunford involved as well. Oh my goodness. Let's jump back and check and see what happened here. This was Brandon Dunford. And there Jason Conover comes down the track into Dunford, and calamity ensues here at Bristol. Let's see if we can find out what happened from Jason Conover's point of view. On board. Oh man. See multiple cars wrecking there. Rough going there for Conover. He decides to go back into the pits. And that might be Jason Conover's night, if I'm not mistaken. Been sitting there for a couple of laps now, so tough going for Jason, who had a great night going, but unfortunately gets it sideways there, just less than 10 laps from the end, and manages to make contact with another vehicle, and that will take him out of this one. So 7 laps to go. Jared Wishin, your leader, Vincent Arthur in second, Ronnie Norman has gotten back up into third, and Matthew George in fourth place. So Flatline Motorsports once again somehow managing to get 3 cars up into the top 5. Is that how they'll finish? Stay tuned. We'll be right back. We'll conclude this one here at Bristol. with just 3 laps remaining. We are back here with Wishin in the lead, Vincent Arthur in second, and Ronnie Norman in third as they fire it into turn 1. It's Wishin in front still. Arthur holding on to second, and Ronnie Norman sliding up the track into third just behind George. Peyton Tulloch somehow still in this one, and Brian Powell has managed to get back up there into that top 5 consideration. Wishin holding on here through this one. Will he be able to take the white flag? That will mean that this one will still finish without going to a green-white checkered. Vincent Arthur holding on to second. Ronnie Norman. These 3 have moved out to pretty solid first, second, and third. It's pretty clear looking back. There's Matthew George, a solid run there. And it will be the white flag this time for Jared Wishin. So we will finish this one here momentarily. Brandon Dunford possibly having a moment, and we look on to see whether Wishin can hold on or whether Arthur will bring it in. Checkered flag in the air, and it will be Jared Wishin who completes the sweep here of the NORA Series. What a heck of a weekend for Jared Wishin, taking victory in the trucks and now taking victory in the Cup Series. Congratulations to him. What a heck of a run for Jared Wishin of KPR Motorsport. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the final results from tonight's feature race here at Bristol Dirt. Of course, your winner, as he celebrates out there on the track, is Jared Wishin in the top position for KPR Motorsports. Vincent Arthur taking second place for Flatline Motorsports. Great run from him. Third place to Ronnie Norman, also of that Flatline stable, and his teammate as well, Matthew George, in fourth. Fifth going to Brady Moats for Brian Powell Motorsports. Peyton Tulloch in sixth for JRC. Cody Height in seventh. Brian Powell in eighth. Jacob Bladelich in ninth. 10th to Josh Conover. 11th to Brandon Dunford. 12th, Jake Christenberry. 13th, Jason Conover. 14th, Joey Stats. 15th, Chad Engel. 16th, Zach Hollinger. 17th, Timmy Harper. 18th, Nick Geilis. And 19th to John Cottle. 20th to Corey Danielson. And Matthew Hibbs only got in one lap tonight. So rough luck for him, and rough luck for, honestly, a lot of these drivers. A lot of chances for them to play catch up and possibly be able to get back out there and get some more points out of tonight. And yes, the points do count tonight just the same as they do any night. So congratulations to all those drivers who did manage to survive until the very end. Let's see if we can manage to talk to a couple of these drivers as they step out of their cockpits here momentarily. It does look like we'll have a chance to grab Ronnie Norman, driver for the number 33 Flatline Motorsports machine, who had an up and down race. He was in the front, in the back, but Ronnie, it looked like a wild ride out there tonight. Give us your heads up on what tonight's race was like, and congratulations surviving the third place. Hey, Ronnie, you got me there, buddy? Hey, Ronnie, you got me there, buddy?
Yeah, I got you, Trevor. What's up?
Well, tell us how you... Congratulations on third there. Didn't realize my mic was muted in Discord. Sorry about that. But, yeah, you had an up and down race, my friend. And you ended up coming back and being able to hold on there to third. It looked like it was Survivor night. And tonight it looked like iPacing instead of iRacing. But still, all these points still matter. Flatline Motorsports take 3 of the top 5 positions, and you take third place. How was the race tonight?
Yeah, no, I'd definitely say I stole one here for the podium. Should not be up here whatsoever. There's a lot of great drivers in here. It's just a lot of carnage. This car basically ate a lot of us up tonight, and I mean, everybody was out there doing the best we could. I mean, nobody out here wants to put on a show like that. We know it wasn't the best, and it's not usually what we do. But coming to a track like this, and after the truck race last night, we felt like, I mean, I think we were optimistic of what we were going to do tonight. But after coming out here and running laps in the Cup car, the trucks were definitely a lot easier to control. I think what a lot of people are saying is the diffuser is what made it to where we weren't able to run the high side, because it would just get loose and lift your tires off the ground. So I guess in real life they don't have the diffuser on the cars, and they have it in the sim for us. So that didn't really help out at all for trying to run the high line. That's why everybody was middle low. But yeah, no, it was a good run. Like you said, the points still count. I mean, I'm thrilled to be up here on the podium after a race like that, and just to get it over with and move on. So yeah, we'll just take this one with a grain of salt. Everybody, I mean, like I said, everybody hated this race. We didn't really know what to expect, and unfortunately, there was just a lot of eye pacing tonight.
Well, and honestly, Wishin and Arthur had a lot less event-filled evening. Their races were a lot cleaner, a lot more at the front. They just didn't have the amount of contact. I know you got wrapped up in a number of different incidents. How do you keep your focus in a race like this where it's just chaos? You're getting hit from all sides, get put up into the wall, you yourself sometimes drifting up into the wall errantly. I mean, how do you keep your focus to the point where you can not only stay focused in the race, but make correct strategy calls and end up on a podium?
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of it's just talking with your teammates. I mean, having Vincent in there in our group is really big to have, and along with Josh and Matthew and Peyton all being in there. But it's just, I mean, there was a couple of wrecks there toward the end where I got bumped into, and I have no idea how I didn't get spun around. I was able to hang on to it, and just unfortunate stuff happened to where there was a wreck there with that last caution, and a couple people in front of me got taken out, which hated to see it. But then again, it helped me out, and I was able to capitalize. So it's just you just got to keep with it. I mean, if you make a mistake, you just got to put it behind you and move on, and just learn from it and try not to do it again. Because I mean, basically all I was trying to do tonight was just keep it low. And I mean, a lot of the times you're just drifting up, and you're not trying to drift up into the guy above you, because you're 2-3 wide going into corners, and on them restarts, because we had so many of them, we were always 2 or 3 wide there until we got strung out. So just a lot of damage, a lot of collective wrecks that unfortunately happened. And yeah, it's just, hey, it's over with. We can say it's done, and just move on to Martinsville.
And if anybody wants to see a great dirt race, go back and watch last night's truck race. That was
for sure.
But either way, Steven Dombrowski checking in a little late over in the YouTube chat land. Super happy to see that you got some great run out of tonight and able to get a podium position. So anybody that you'd like to thank for tonight's race before we move on?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to McAllister Reynolds for being on the car tonight out of Columbus, Indiana. FanDuel on there. I want to thank everybody for watching. Whoever did watch, probably was a snooze fest. But thanks to Steven for checking in, everybody that watched. Just appreciate it. Everybody puts this league on. Thank you for broadcasting. And yeah, hopefully next week we can come back to Martinsville and show what this league's really made of, and hopefully put on some good green flag runs for you.
Absolutely. Well, it was a pleasure to see you out there racing hard anyway. Get some of that dirt wiped off your car. We'll see you next week at Martinsville.
10-4. Thank you, buddy.
That was Ronnie Norman popping in here from the Flatline Motorsports stable. He managed to take third place, and that's going to give us a chance to talk now to our second place finisher, Vincent Arthur, who had an amazing run. And I mean, it was kind of it was a lot cleaner, certainly, for your run, Vincent, than it was for Ronnie Norman. But I can see that your mic's muted there. Hopefully you got me. Oh, there you go. Hey, Vincent, tell us a little bit more about your night. It looked like you had a little bit of the taste of the front, but Jared Wishin just really seemed to have the whole field covered tonight.
Yeah, I'm just mad at myself. Made a couple of mistakes early. I mean, I definitely had a car that I felt like when it was healthy, it was the fastest car in the field. And I think I showed that when I went up there and passed him. And then for whatever reason, this car in 1 and 2, there's just like a bump in the center of the corner, and it just like picks the rear wheels up off the ground. And then once it hits the ground again, it's just like the car spins around. And I had gotten into the 16, and that messed up the left front toe, and the car was never the same after that. So I was pretty frustrated about that, but yeah, just trying to survive. Honestly, that race was pretty embarrassing, I'm not gonna lie. I needed green flag runs, and we just could not get it. I think we had a 10-lap run there somewhere with 30 to go, and I finally figured out what I needed to do. I just didn't have the short run, I had the long run pace. Definitely had the car to win, but hats off to the 16. Good for him to get the win, but yeah, no, this one's gonna sit sour for a while.
Well, I was actually commentating. It's funny you would bring that up, because I was just about to say, let's take a look at the time delta, and you can see how the time is starting to come down just as we were getting into that longer green run. Then right at that moment, that's when the caution came out, so it was kind of like abandon that plan. But I could tell that it looked like you did have the longer run pace, and you were starting to close in on Jared. I was seeing that time coming down. Not much you could do there tonight. I know we were hearing from Ronnie Norman that because there is the diffuser on this car in Simland on iRacing, and it doesn't exist in real life, that possibly is the reason why it was causing the tires to lift up in the back. But Vincent, it was a fun dirt adventure. Any final notes from you on running in the dirt here tonight, and are you looking forward to Martinsville next week?
Martinsville definitely should be interesting, and yeah, the diffuser was the whole reason why I was lifting up. It's just after that left front, for whatever reason, I don't know if it messed up the ride heights or whatnot, but I could not run the top in 1 and 2, and I felt like that really hindered me. But overall, to come through that much adversity and to finish second, still a good points day. Don't get the playoff points like I wanted, but we'll go out towards Martinsville next week, and we'll see what we can do there. Hopefully it's a little cleaner, but it is Martinsville, so we'll see what happens.
And certainly also a lot to be thankful for, with 3 Flatline Motorsports teammates all in the top 5 once again. Flatline just having a great run here in NORA, and it seems like each and every week. Usually it's first, second, and third, but sometimes second, third, and fourth is also sweet in a race like this. Anybody you want to say thanks to before we move on tonight, Vince?
I want to say thanks to you for doing the broadcast. You do a wonderful job up here. And got to thank Josh for giving me the opportunity for this league to run one of his cars. Got to thank Nick for this wonderful Pepsi paint scheme. It's absolutely beautiful. It looks great with the dirt on the front. But yeah, just thank you, and we'll see you guys in Martinsville.
Well, thank you, certainly, Vincent. I appreciate the comments, and thanks for putting on a great show here tonight. You gave it your all. Just didn't have a long enough green flag run to take it to Jared, but we'll see you next week at Martinsville, where you're a little bit more back in the normal style of racing element. Good luck next week, my friend.
Thank you.
So that's Vincent Arthur from Flatline Motorsports, the top running Chevy for tonight, and that's going to give us a chance to talk with the Ford that was the highest placing Ford of the group. And he had a less eventful evening than Ronnie Norman in third place, and a lot of other cars. But that didn't mean that it was easy for Jared Wishen to take victory here tonight. And it's not just tonight, it's both nights. He took it in the trucks here at Bristol Dirt last night. He takes it in the NORA Cup Series here tonight. Congratulations on sweeping the weekend, Jared Wishen, and a great victory tonight.
Yes, thank you. Definitely didn't come into this race thinking I was going to have a chance to win this one. I even messaged Dustin before the race that I don't think this was going to happen, because it was just, I just couldn't drive it when it got slick. But ironically, that's kind of whenever I got fast tonight.
Well, certainly you had those starts and restarts covered. It seemed like nobody could touch you on those restarts at all. And you seem to have it covered for a good portion of the next 2 laps. Vincent Arthur was talking about it and saying maybe he had something for you in the longer green flag runs. But as we all know, we didn't get a lot of green flag runs tonight. What was it to run with so many restarts? And to have your pace and the rhythm of tonight's racing really interrupted so much? Does it throw you? Did you have to keep staying focused on what the job was at hand? How did you get through all of that tonight?
It definitely throws you off because as you get more and more, I kept having to like try to change up the restart, and I got like them first 1 or 2 restarts. I got a good jump, and I kept thinking if we keep getting more cautious, he's going to catch on and be able to stay with me. Because if I didn't clear him down in the turn 1, I doubt I would have been able to stay ahead of him because I was on the top, and I think he wanted to be on the bottom. But it just nerve-wracking the first few laps, just if he was able to stay with me there on the bottom in the turn 1. But once I got the lead, I felt like I'd be okay because it was kind of hard to pass as I found that out when I was trying to pass him to get the lead. But I felt pretty decent once I was able to get the jumps on the restart.
Well, another question comes up here looking at your beautiful paint job on this number 16. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, I run this in another league, and Dustin gave me the opportunity to come run this, so I just threw the 16 on it and came over here.
Absolutely. It looks great under the lights here, and was a great opportunity to show that off. Certainly next week we're going to be back at Martinsville. I know that you're not a full-timer in the league, just running for owner points here. Is there a chance that we'll see you back here next week, or are we going to see you for any of the future races here?
Definitely won't be back next week. I'm handing it back over to Dustin for the rest of the season. So I left him with a win to get into, I guess. But I don't know. It'd have to be around June if I was able to make a return back. But right now, I don't think there's any plans.
Well, it's been great having you, of course, in the NORA Truck Series and NORA Cup Series, and you really showed how to get it done in 2 very different styled races between last night and tonight. Same track, same setup, just 2 very different style races, and a lot more close side-by-side racing last night. Tonight it was more of a survivor race. Any thanks that you would like to do tonight before we close out the broadcast?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Diecast fans for being on the car for both nights and able to get them a win back-to-back. And thanks to Dustin for letting me fill in this number 16 car for him, and KPR Motorsports for also letting me run it. And thank you for broadcasting, as always.
Absolutely. My pleasure, and thanks for saying so, Jared. And Diecast fans, that sounds like a great place. I like to collect Diecast as well, so I'll make sure to check that out. You did a great job here, Jared. Congratulations on sweeping the weekend once again. No more superlatives that I can possibly think of for you tonight. Just make sure to celebrate with your KPR Motorsports teammates, and this is one for the record books and one for the Hall of Fame for KPR. Congratulations, friend.
Well, thank you.
That is Jared Wishin, who absolutely destroyed the competition both nights. You heard it in Vincent Arthur's voice. He thought that he had a car tonight that he could possibly take this victory, but it was not in the cards. It was all Jared Wishin, all Monday night, all Tuesday night. And so next week, we'll be rolling on to Martinsville. This time, no more dirt, just asphalt, we promise. Will there be 15-plus cautions next week? I doubt it, but stay tuned. Show up every week. Why not? Smash that subscribe button, hit the like button, and tick the notify bell, and we'll see you back here again on VirtualRacing.Network next Tuesday night. Make sure to be here for Martinsville Speedway. You won't want to miss it. So with that, I'm Trevor Greenfield, and you've been watching VirtualRacing.Network's ongoing coverage, the home of the NORA Cup and Truck Series for the entire season. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Enjoy. Take care. Call your loved ones. Tell them you love them. Until then, we'll see you next week. So long, everybody.